guess when I first came here, like I kind of had a box in terms of what the type of people would want to go to seminary school or would want to study theology. And coming here every day, just hearing the stories, just the personal stories, and just, some days it was confusing, some days it was kind of, very interesting facts, but always it was kind of just a growing understanding of what they were doing and, a deeper understanding of what theology was all about.
I don't think you have to close your house.
So, Christine, who are you looking for? Tell us about this person.
His or her favorite hobby is fishing.
Okay, go ahead.
I was asked
Personally, I would get a sense of who this generation is and what kinds of experiences with the church, their journey of faith, get a sense of who they are, what it's been like for them in terms of their life experience as Asian Americans, so that I can connect with them, with my experience and my particular background, where we grow and learn together.
Who's a doctor, lawyer, professor, or other professional, move one space forward.
It's important for me to be here because conversations that happen here are not conversations that I normally have elsewhere at night.
I think that this environment is really healthy and that everyone coming in can have completely different views. The faculty is just even more encouraging for you to share that and really understand it, and I feel like it's not in a judging way, but more of a, okay, let's explore that more and let's talk about that and let's everyone think about that, and thank you for sharing that point, and wow, we really appreciate you contributing because that's something we should think about, and we just don't get that in the world sometimes, that it's really
information
awesome.
in a way that help us motivate people and educate people into action.
Set apart for you, the Master, ready to do your will.
Growing up, my faith was Asian American, whether I liked it or not. That's how it was. I grew up in a Korean church, and even though I might have seen Jesus as a white person, but to me, all the experiences that I've had of faith growing up was somehow filtered in a way through, the Korean sentiment. Without you even knowing it, when you growing up, that being in one homogeneous ethnic church has in one way filtered your experience, and it's not to say that you need to to separate that and see what's the truth, but just to unpack it and be like, oh wow, this could have something to do with my culture. This could have something to do with me being Asian American.
I was struck by the level at which the participants engaged. They were very open. We posed some fairly complex and hard questions for them to think about, and they engaged thoughtfully. They were very honest. They were very willing to share at a fairly deep personal level, that was beyond what I expected in terms of the participants' engagement.
What if we said that we were unashamedly white? What if the church said they were unashamedly white? And he was like, well, that's partly why we need unashamedly white, because the church has been unashamedly white.
Three workshops stood out for me. Either very provocative and controversial and made me go, what? Or there were some that really made me question my faith.
And where is the church at on issues of justice? Because often the church is not always on the side of justice.
And so I'm still pondering and struggling through it. And I have a lot of questions. but I definitely didn't expect some of the things that I've learned.
The one that I really liked was, 'cause I can't put into words, the one where they kind of categorized where your faith was, and like in a number system, and then asked us to like, put ourselves in it, and then explain why we're a 1 or a 2 or whatever.
I had to put up an 8. And very intentionally, because I don't think 7 goes far enough. 7 is that there's these multiple religions that all lead to the same higher truth. I had a professor, a Hindu professor, that explained this to me, and I probably won't do his beliefs justice. But he said that he believed everyone was a Hindu. Whatever you called yourself, you're a Hindu.
I guess the best part was when the instructors and the rest of the leadership did the same thing for us. Like they put themselves in the number system, and it was really interesting because you have the same message. You have one message of faith and one gospel of Christianity. Yet so many people look at it so many different ways and find value in it and find, fulfillment and purpose in different ways.
I can't commit to one category, and also that I think that anything along those lines is true.
I felt like
that there could be
we could connect sort of what we were learning kind of intellectually with actual like real life. So much of our experiences are very insular. We are, as Asian Americans, we're really focused on our personal spiritual well-being and our personal relationship with God, but to have our faith also to be connected to our public lives, and as a way to combat some of the racism or the sexism in our society. Like that's a really, I think, new thought for Asian American churches.
You call us to be fully alive in your life abundant, ready to listen with our heart, soul, strength, and mind.
To listen and apply to the word of God.
You call us to be always watchful for your word of wisdom, sometimes startling and unexpected, sometimes still and quiet, always still and quiet. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you.
Every participant that I've met here has been so much fun, and each person is so different and so unique, and I love that. So it's really neat to all be in the same room talking about these issues together, because if it's just, I could read this stuff on my own, like those articles, and it would be a completely different experience because it would just be me and my mind. But the advantage is that here, like, you're in a community and you're in like a classroom setting where you could exchange ideas. And for me, the most important thing is to learn from my peers. So when people bring up like new ideas, it's fun to be in that process together of learning and transforming and trying to figure out what's next for our lives.
That's exactly right.
Good job, good job.
We're having pepper, which is a lot like bibimbap, but with raw fish. But we also have bibimbap stuff, so if you don't eat fish, take all the fish you want. Because there's more.
Yeah, just being able to go out and partake and celebrate culture through food, and see the work of Christ in culture, I think was amazing for me. I mean, not to mention that the food was delicious, and I was like feasting.
This group has been earnest in their commitment to be involved in the program, and have been processing with each other through conversations at lunch and conversations afterwards in our small group that they've learned how to be in dialogue and in community with difference. And that's a great learning. I mean, if anything they take away from this is that, for me, is a aha moment for them.
The second session was really long. Really hard for me, not long. I mean, it was long too, but like really hard for. Wait, what was the second session yesterday?
We had free time.
Small groups for me was the best part of my entire TASTE experience. And small groups were really an opportunity for me to connect 3 other participants, myself, and then 2 mentors, because it allowed me to debrief the day after we were finished.
One thing I didn't expect was that the mentorship would last throughout the year after Taste of Seminary is over. And so I'm looking forward to that time, because I feel like I haven't clearly defined a lot of thoughts that I've had this week. There's a lot of, like as I said, seeds being planted, and so they're still needing to develop and grow, and so I'm excited for the time that we have afterwards to really check back in and be able to just bounce ideas off of the rest of my group and with my mentors.
I'm a spoken word artist. I love Asia, I love America, but mostly I love God. And so this is my speech, and I want to tell you that I'm here to be Asian and American. Alex is Asian American.
So I'm thinking about, says, where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? You know, I'm thinking about my boy Tupac, and he said, I see no changes. You know what? There will be changes one day. You know what I'm saying?
AATVN to the T. We know about radio, hearts of faith feeds. We learn about the Bible and typology. This is where I learn my true identity.
Spirit of the living God, fall afresh on me.
TASTE was just an amazing experience, because it really brought together, I felt like, the right groups of people who could speak profoundly and prophetically into life. And so I really appreciated not only the chance to be part of this intellectual dialogue that is faith-seeking understanding, but I appreciated having the chance to be part of this community of believers and people who are going to, I'm sure, continue, who have impacted me, and I'm sure will continue to impact me for a long time.
But what's really encouraging to me is for the participants who say, I'm leaving with more questions and fewer answers than I thought I would. And for me, that's really encouraging, because it means that the growth doesn't stop here. It means that they're going to continue trying to pursue these ideas and questions.
Eat of this bread and drink from this cup. You proclaim the saving death.
I'm so excited that the church, in its largest sense, the ministry in its largest sense, is going to be carried out by these young people who will bring their particular gifts and their particular understanding of life and Christianity and ministry. I hope I live long enough to see the ultimate fulfillment and the flowering of what has begun here.
They can dream, oh, when they see me lighting up the night, I'm fighting with the tide, I'm waving them good night. They'll soon wake up to your sunlight, checking that the time's right on. They'll heal these holes that fill this world. I just want to shout out loud your name in this crowd. And if you hear somehow, won't you turn around? 'Cause in your eyes I see my soul. Yes, I see my soul, my God, my soul.
Don't be so set in your ways. Set the moon back to the sun. They will learn, they will change. They are only human. Don't you know they are just our reflection? But I know they can hope, they can dream. Oh, when they see me lighting up the night, I'm fighting with the tide, waving them good night. Good night, moon, morning sun, evening stars, little one.